First match of night one saw the defending SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, defending their titles against the team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Now, if you watched our previous podcast, you know that Ben kind of talked me into this, but I agreed with him. We predicted that the Usos were actually going to lose these titles with the caveat of them regaining them within a week or two. However, this match did not go quite as planned. But before we get into that, Brian, what was your initial prediction before watching this match?
Here's my thing. Going into it, I felt like it was a little rushed with giving Shinsuke and Rick Boogs that match. And I was pretty sure the Usos were going to come out top because my thing is since it's part of the bloodline, if the Usos lose, more than likely Roman's probably going to lose all in the same nights, and it's going to be the downfall of the bloodline all at one time. So going in, I really thought the Usos was going to win. Yeah, now, with Rick Boogs getting hurt, that was definitely unexpected.
Oh yeah, well, and Ben actually, the whole reason Ben convinced me that maybe the Usos were going to lose is so that it would have created a sense of dread for Roman's match on night two.
And that was a good prediction too. Like that makes sense.
Yeah, and we actually don't know because again, Rick Boogs, for those of you who didn't watch the match, Rick Boogs ended up tearing his quad muscle. So he's going to be out for 6 to 9 months. And yeah, that match was, I don't know. And
it was a little
well, and I try not to shit on the in-ring work, but a lot of these matches, like, I just felt like they weren't really WrestleMania matches, and this is one of them. It has nothing to do with the competitors, but it's like you said, the booking was rushed. It was kind of like, oh shit, we've got to defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. Quick, grab a team.
And that's true too. And there was a lot of good matches, but there was a lot of very few matches that were okay, but could have been better if they weren't rushed.
I will say at least this was a pay-per-view match. I think there were about 3 or 4 matches that I was kind of like, this is a match that should be on Raw.
I can definitely agree with that one.
Yeah, at least this is like I'd say this one would have been a good match at like from a booking perspective. This would have been a good match for like one of the lesser pay-per-views, not one of the big 4. Maybe a SummerSlam match. Maybe at best.
Or even if they would have just built it up as a one-on-one match without the titles to build up for Backlash, the WrestleMania Backlash.
Right. But anyway, as you probably guessed, since Rick Boogs was injured mid-match, whether or not it was the original finish, the Usos ended up retaining their tag team championships. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't a great match. But that's to be expected. Yeah. It was less than 7 minutes long, and I have a sneaking suspicion that it had something to do with the injury.
I feel like it does too, obviously. Maybe it was booked for Shinsuke and Boogs to win, and the bookers were like, hey, Boogs is hurt. Why put the title and just let the Usos win? And they could have just changed up the finish for the Usos to keep it.
It seemed like that wasn't the original finish. It seemed like they had to kind of put something, and I will say they covered it really well. Because it didn't look like at no point was it like, oh shit, what do we do? It was like, which of course it's Shinsuke and the Usos. Like, they probably didn't even have to talk.
What's even more messed up is wasn't it like the SmackDown before this last one or the one before that same knee they had faked the injury.
Yep.
And then now, what kind of?
That's
rubbing it a little raw.
That's the wrestling gods punishing you.
That is completely true.
That's what you get for working an injury. That's gotta piss him off, though.
It would piss me off if. You're gonna fix it so you're injured, and then you get injured on that same exact leg. and
Yeah.
it wasn't it was a basic move. I think it wasn't. I don't remember what move it was, but it was just. I think it was just some basic.
They were too
And
heavy. They were too heavy. Because what it was is he
yeah,
took I forget whether it was Jimmy or he took one of the Usos up on a fireman's carry, then the other one, and this is why I was listening to Jim Cornette and I had thought this already, and then when Jim went into it, I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. It was a stupid thing to do because it looked so phony. Because in order to have a guy on your shoulders already and to pick up another guy, he has to cooperate with you. It looked goofy because Boogs had to bend down and the other Uso literally like leapfrogged on top of his brother, which why would you do
yes.
that? And the Usos are not small guys. Like Boogs is squatting over
Like
400 pounds there.
yeah, the Usos are like 250 maybe, 265 maybe.
They're at least 200, so we're talking a minimum of 400 pounds, and they started slipping, which I think is what caused the injury.
That's true. Yeah, I remember that now. They were slipping off.
Yeah, and he was trying to. It's Frank, and again, hindsight's 2020. He should have just let him go, but he's trying to save the moment. I totally understand it. But the Usos are still SmackDown Tag Team Champions.